ag better. Interject the markets now, the RFD radio network.
You're from Central Illinois, WHOW.
Top of the morning. Thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Seth Lawrence. The WHOW Morning Show streams to Facebook and YouTube, brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. My guests on the Zoom this morning, Mrs. Cheryl Warner is the superintendent of Warrensburg-Latham Schools. Mrs. Warner, good to see you. How are you this morning?
Good morning, Seth. We're doing great. We've had a really nice, smooth, positive start to the school year.
Good.
Knock on wood, it's been a really, really smooth transition back to school.
Wonderful.
So,
good to hear.
yeah.
Good to hear. Mrs. Adriane Moody is the principal of Warrensburg-Latham High School. Mrs. Moody, it's good to see you again. You're the counselor. I'm sorry.
Yep.
That's okay. That's okay.
I'm
yes.
sorry.
Good morning.
Well, you know what? We just gave you a promotion on the show, so there you go. But no,
I don't know that she wants that
No,
promotion.
thank you.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Well, thank you, ladies, for coming on here this morning. Now it makes sense, Mrs. Moody, why you have a new therapy dog in your building. You are, of course, the counselor of the high school. The therapy dog. This is new for the district this year. Tell me about this.
Yes, it is. So I have Eddie here with me. So he is my dog, and we're super excited to be here. Eddie has gone through several weeks of training. We used Jenna through Best Paw Forward out of Monticello, and she really helped me, kind of learn all the things to be able to work with Eddie. And then we also got our certification through Alliance of Therapy Dogs, which then allows us to be a therapy team. And so, yes, we're super excited to be here at WHS.
Cool. By the way, when did you all go back to school, Mrs. Warner?
So our students started last Wednesday. Teachers started last Monday. So we're just about at a week at this point.
Gotcha.
So
Cool. Nice.
And Eddie started on Institute Day with the staff.
Yeah,
So,
sure.
mhm.
Adrian,
Did he have his picture taken yesterday?
He had his picture taken
Had his
on
picture
Friday.
taken. Yeah.
Great.
So
Nice. That's funny. How is he being received this year, Mrs. Moody?
He is, honestly, it's been great. There's been lots of smiles in the hallways, lots of pets. I have some staff that love to come and visit Eddie. And he's really just, at this point, just spreading some joy, really.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. So I guess let's go back. How did this all come about? Tell me the story, ladies.
So I feel like this has been an initiative and a kind of a want for the district for a couple of years. The board has always been very supportive of this, the administrative team. But when you're talking about introducing a therapy dog to your district, it has to be the right person that does this, right? Because they have to be the dog owner. And they also needs to be a person that has quite a bit of access to students freely, but also somebody that has, the intuition behind therapy and how a therapy dog is utilized in a school. And luckily for us, Mrs. Moody is that person. And Adrian, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe when you and your husband got Eddie, a lot of it was with the idea of he is going to be trained as a therapy dog, whether that's for school or other purposes. And so it has been a long road. He needed to be over a year old to achieve this and to start all of the training. So it's been a huge dedication for her and her family. But the district is absolutely getting the benefits of her dedication and loyalty to the district. And, something about this, Seth, just having a dog in a workplace brings this positivity. And for us, working with kids all day long, it's something they look forward to.
Sure.
It's just another smile every day when you come in. Just another avenue for positivity and physical connection to an animal, and opening up conversations possibly that maybe wouldn't have happened without Eddie being present. So yeah.
So Mrs. Moody, from your perspective, what are the benefits of having Eddie around and him trained in this therapy world and those sorts of things? What are the benefits from your side of things?
Absolutely. Well, I think there can be a lot of benefits just from having a therapy dog around. There's a lot of research to show that it can do things like for positive behaviors can be a reward for students, even can positively affect your attendance. I think it just kind of provides some comfort to students, just him being here, and also to staff, like both during stressful times or if there are some emotional moments, like he's there to provide some support and help for that. So, I mean, definitely, whenever there are times of stress and anxiety, Eddie can be there, right, to provide that comfort. But I also think just that daily interaction, you see him in the hallways and you're like, oh, there's a dog here, and you can go give pets, and he's happy to meet anybody who's willing to meet him. So I think that just that daily interaction is just positive. So he's a non-judgmental presence, right? So dogs love, he loves to meet people. And so I think just having that presence here has been positive.
Sure. So, Mrs. Moody, if I can ask, when I was in high school, when we said we were going to see the counselor, we were largely going to see a counselor over school schedule, over college things, like just kind of logistical issues within the education system. But I have to think that the world of counseling in the school system now has very much changed. Can you speak to that a little bit, and maybe what your job looks like nowadays and how Eddie can be beneficial in that?
What a wonderful question. I love that. So you're right in that, the role of a school counselor, they used to be called guidance counselor, and
Yes.
there has been a shift and change in it, calling a school counselor to encompass those things outside of what you would typically, see as like the scheduling piece, the college and career piece, which is absolutely 100% a large part of my job and what I do. However, there is that mental health piece. There is that piece of that social emotional support that we have to students. So whether that be like individual, students that I individually check in weekly, right? Or I could run groups for certain topics. So that's also a part of my job too. So, but yeah, there's times where life happens, right? And you still have to go to your job or come to school and do the things. And so I'm a support for students when that happens. And I think Eddie is, he's going to be there to support students and to help them, even when maybe they don't have the words, right, to share what's going on, just be that positive support in those harder times and those more individual counseling sessions as well.
And there's something even just therapeutic about having a dog at your side, petting that dog. That dog is giving you its undivided attention, and there's something just peaceful and calming about that at the same time, I feel like.
Absolutely. I think there's like chemical reaction, right, that happens, and releasing the endorphins and all those things that help all of us. So
yeah, I have to ask, like, you probably have to take him outside and all those things. Does he have like a routine for that during the school day?
He does. He doesn't, here's the thing, like if he were at home, like he really wouldn't be going out much, right? And so it's somewhat, he does go out a few times. My office, I have a great location where right across the hall there's a fenced in area. It's like it was made for Eddie, I feel like. So it's really not been, that much of a thing that we've had to do, and kind of taking him out and taking those breaks.
So did you mentioned when you got Eddie, there was kind of the personal goal to have him be a part of your routine at Warrensburg-Latham schools. Can you tell me about like the training he had to go through? Like that side of it actually fascinates me a lot. Like how do you get your dog to become a therapy dog? You mentioned he had to like be a year old and those sorts of things. What were those classes like? What was the training like? Do you mind speaking to that?
Absolutely. So I will first say that when we got Eddie, the hope was that he would become a therapy dog. That was the hope. However, not every dog has the appropriate temperament to become a therapy dog. So I will say that I think part of it is just Eddie and his calm presence, and his personality, that he has the appropriate temperament for that. So that's something that you just really can't teach. I will say some people get dogs and they're like, oh, I want to become a therapy dog, but they might just not have the appropriate temperament for that. So we understood that and accepted that whenever we did get Eddie. And I think we were just kind of blessed, right, with the appropriate temperament that he had. But yes, we started right away just as a puppy doing some like training with him. I always kept him close to me. He just naturally walked really well on a leash. However, I did go through just kind of your classic obedience class and then a next level course with Jenna through Best Paw Forward. And she really helped me spot all the things I was doing wrong as a handler, right? Eddie's, he's a smart dog. He is a friendly dog. And so, you know, her training was really helped me figure out how to be a better handler and how to work with Eddie. And then as far as the assessments go through our Alliance of Therapy Dogs, it was a series of different settings and making sure that he had the appropriate temperament, that he was corrected when he needed to be corrected, that he responded well, that he was, used his manners and he was polite, and, just generally interested in meeting people.
Yeah, used his manners. That's funny.
I have to remind him to use his manners sometimes.
Well,
yes.
And it's funny. So our family fosters, or we haven't so much lately, but we used to foster for the pet adoption group here in DeWitt County. And we had like a set of puppies, and one of them was just kind of rambunctious. And the description they put on this dog was he's learning to use his table manners. It was the funniest thing. And it was like, well, it's true. He is. But anyways, there was something I was so are Mrs. Moody, you're the counselor of the high school, just the high school. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay.
Yes.
Even high schoolers can say funny things at times. What's the funniest, like either comment, question that you've gotten so far about Eddie being in the school building?
Oh my goodness. So I will say one of the funny things about Eddie is that his breed is a standard poodle. So his haircut's going to change, So right now he has a little mohawk going on. He had a summer cut before, so we shaved him down a little bit. But I think the funniest thing has been like they've a request for a Bob Ross haircut. So.
I love that. Yes, that's awesome. Oh my gosh. Leave it to
Eddie has the ability to do that. Yes.
Yeah. What a great thing. What a great
Are you
thing.
able to show him so that
Yes, I can show him. So Eddie, can you say hello?
There's Eddie.
Can you guys see him?
Yeah, there, and that's Bob Ross haircut. Totally. We gotta get that going on. That's funny.
Yeah.
How old is he? You said 1.5?
Yeah, he'll be 2 in October.
Cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. Very nice. Mrs. Warner, Mrs. Moody, did I miss anything about Eddie you wanted to put out there for us?
No, very nice introduction. We just want people to know he's here and the purpose, and continuing to have interactions with Eddie on a normal everyday basis. And then,
Cool.
Also intricate interactions as needed. But
yeah. Hey, Mrs. Moody, would you do me a solid and email me a picture of Eddie at your convenience today?
Of course, yes.
Thank you. Awesome. Well, on that note, ladies, let's take a break and come back with some more. Again, that is Mrs. Cheryl Warner, Superintendent of Warrensburg-Latham Schools. Adriane Moody is the school's counselor, and her sidekick this year is the dog Eddie. We'll talk more with them coming up on the WHOW Morning Show.
WHOW.
Safety.org.
Let's check the markets now on the RFD Radio Network. I'm Jim Taylor. Corn higher, beans higher, wheat slightly lower. September corn up 3 1/4, 4.94 3/4. December corn up 2 1/4, 5.17 3/4. March corn 5.32 1/2, up 2 1/4. September beans up 2 3/4, 12.18 3/4. November beans up 2 1/2, 12.26 3/4. January beans 12.41, up 2 3/4. September Chicago wheat 6.81, down 3/4. September KC wheat 7.45, down 5 1/2. September bean meal up $1, 3.2130. September bean oil down 75 cents, 66.38. Livestock trade August feeders down $1.05, 2.1902. October lean hogs 80.67, down 45 cents. October live cattle 212.55, down $1.10. Energy market October Brent crude oil 89.33, down 2.84. RFD Radio Network.
Once again, good morning. Thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Seth Lawrence. The WHOW Morning Show streams to Facebook and YouTube, brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. My guest on the Zoom today, Mrs. Cheryl Warner, is the superintendent of Warrensburg-Latham Schools, and Adriane Moody is the high school counselor. Mrs. Warner, this you are bringing to my attention, and I feel like you do this very well. You and Dr. Taylor up in Hayworth, you bring things to my attention that no one else is talking about, and then I get to talk to everybody else about it. So phishing scams.
Good. We'll start the conversation going. Yeah.
It's got to start somewhere.
Yeah.
Phishing scams in school emails.
Yeah.
Okay, this is new to me,
Yeah.
so you're gonna have to introduce it.
So school districts have pretty quickly become attempted to become the target of malware and phishing and malicious emails. You're starting to see talk and traffic about this on some of the professional education associations like Illinois, Principals Association, the Illinois Association of School Administrators, and Leaders Network. So like email traffic and discussion boards about, because this has become so broad. So yes, cybersecurity has become a huge topic. Of course, all school districts, insurance companies are talking with us about this. Our auditors are talking about this. You're seeing more education. We started experiencing some malicious activity in the spring. So my IT director and I, his name is Chris Reed, spent time this summer dedicating how are we moving forward as a district, and came up with a training plan for our staff as well as our students, because they could be receiving these emails too. We talked about prevention strategies to put in place. So we did set aside some time during our in-service to start this process. And what's interesting, that's become so sophisticated by the individuals who are, hacking and attempting to get information. When I had this conversation with the staff and training, the emails that you get are very much geared towards educators who are in a profession to help others, right? So they may be getting an email that's about a student safety security issue. So of course they want to open that email, find out what it is, help. They might be getting an email that looks like it's from a parent who wants to discuss a concern. Again, that's something they would engage in. They might get an email about their own payroll or absences. Well, of course, they're very in tune to that as well. So people that are attempting these attacks are very good at picking the correct topics to go in front of educators. And they're also very good at knowing what names to attach to these emails. Of course, my name pops up pretty frequently. Our director in HR, that would be a name that we would see, our IT director's name. It's even gone as far as the assistant to me in this office. Sometimes her name is utilized as well. So it's just become really sophisticated very quickly. And this is just another role that as educators, we don't think we will have to delve into as much. But boy, have we become the safety security officer. We're now the cybersecurity officer. As we see these trends, we have to very quickly become very educated and determine how the district moves forward with best practice. Because ultimately, in the end, it's not about trying to hack one person, right? It's about trying to get access to the district. And that's what we kind of had to have the discussion with the staff. It's not about you as an individual. It's about getting access to the district, because just like a hospital or some other organization, we have an overwhelming amount of data accessible to us as a school district.
And to lose
that's highly
and I just wondered,
sensitive.
why would they want that? But for you to lose
Right.
that would be incredibly inconvenient.
Right. That's what it's about. It's about us losing it and them having the opportunity to, cyber ransom and everything that you can go through as a district, which is a never-ending battle. Prevention will always cost us less versus reacting to a situation or having to attempt to try to fix something. So we've come up with an action plan of about 6 different items that we're starting the year with. Number one, we had everybody set up with two-factor authentication, and recovery emails and recovery phone numbers. Very simple thing for us to do. It might be a little bit of a pain for the first 24 hours or so, or as you log on to new devices, but provides everybody with a level of security, right? We also did a password reset across the district. It actually happened today. So people might have been like, "Ooh, here we go." We did a lot of training on how you choose a password. We also overnight now have an automatic shutdown of all of our district computers. Even though this is best practice and almost all of our staff do this on a daily basis, things happen. You leave work in a hurry, or you've gotten a call from a doctor's office that you have to take. So we just make sure overnight all computers shut down automatically with a push out notification, so that when everybody comes in the morning, they're starting fresh and they're logging on, and that just helps to protect with security purposes too. The last thing we've done is we've started a subscription with a company called Tartan. So Tartan will actually help us with training for not only our staff, but also our students. There's a variety of training videos. They are all 3 minutes or shorter, which is great. We just need little snippets of how to protect ourselves. They're geared towards not only staff, but also students. Tartan will also send out simulations. So Tartan will send emails that don't look quite right, but also at the same time look legit, right?
Yeah, sure.
And again, this is not about a gotcha or trying to catch somebody engaging with an email that they shouldn't. It's just about getting us used to looking at those emails, asking the critical questions before you click on the link, before you type in a password, like what doesn't look right here. One of the things we talked a lot about with the staff is when you get these emails, they're toying with your emotions.
Yeah.
Usually there's a sense of urgency, right?
Yeah. Mrs.
Most
Warner,
things don't have that sense of urgency.
I don't mean to do this to you, ladies. I have to let us go for the day. Again, that's Mrs. Cheryl Warner and Adriane Moody with Warrensburg-Latham Schools. Our guest on the Zoom Network News comes your way now.